Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC 10 Plus tonight. As the fires continue to devastate the LA area, a warning for Southern California fire victims who are both raising money and applying for assistance at the same time. And in 10 on your side, I look into our viewers' questions and concerns about VA wait times. ABC 10 Plus tonight starts now. Meanwhile, tonight, immigration leaders are trying to help as they wait for President-elect Donald Trump to follow through on his promise of mass deportations.
The founder of the Benito Juarez Foundation says people are on alert now as they fear deportation. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias joins us live from our state capitol tonight. And Roxanne, what are you hearing from organizations?
Well, Laura, what we're hearing is there is widespread panic tonight among undocumented communities. One father telling us today his kids are afraid that he may be picked up by ICE any day now.
And there are farmers today in this country.
With just days left until President Donald Trump takes office again, organizations are showing their support to people who are undocumented amid his promise of mass deportations.
Dicen que vienen por criminales, pero
Carlos Gallardo, an undocumented father, says they say they're coming for criminals, but they're taking anyone who is in the way of immigration. And that's not fair, separating families. Yes, it's not fair. Not all of us are criminals. Gallardo owns Arelis Tacos in Sacramento, which he runs 7 days a week to support his family. He says his children are scared he'll be deported and have asked him not to go to work. The fear also comes after Customs and Border Patrol carried out an operation recently in the Bakersfield area where people were detained. It led to false reports on social media of ICE sightings in places like Modesto, Stockton, and Lodi.
Right, but also what's to come. You know, there's a lot of fear, and there's constant reporting that, yes, we're going to come in and do mass deportations. And so the fear is very real in our communities. You know, we have many students that don't even want to go to school. So the school.
Ramona Landeros is the founder of the Benito Juarez Foundation in Sacramento. She believes schools and grocery stores will be impacted. That's if farm workers stop working the fields, which she says is already happening in Bakersfield. On Friday, she says they delivered a letter to the office of Congresswoman Doris Matsui, representing California's 7th District.
What we're asking is that they close down these privatized detention centers that are holding people there. And, you know, this is, again, separating families. And so we're really opposed to that. We're really opposed to the raids that are going to happen.
Undocumented immigrants like Gallardo say they're scared to see what is to come as he continues his legalization process. Gallardo says if they're coming for criminals, that's fine, but not working families. That's not right.
We reached out to Customs and Border Patrol along with ICE to ask the details of any operations they may be leading. We are still waiting to hear back from them for any clarification. I'm live in Sacramento. Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Okay, Roxanne, thank you for that report. As wildfires continue to burn, many of the fire victims are trying to recover. According to FEMA, 40,000 people have applied for assistance so far, and many GoFundMe accounts are also raising money for victims.
But there is a warning tonight for victims who are raising money while also applying for assistance. ABC 10's Devin Truby joins us live in studio now to explain. Devin?
That's right, Laura. So does fundraising for wildfire assistance on a site like GoFundMe impact how much money you can receive from FEMA? The short answer is yes. Take a look at the question directly to FEMA. Here's what we learned.
That's it, man. We lost everything.
Shane Severson recording the moment he saw his Altadena home on fire last Wednesday after he and his family evacuated the night before for the Eaton fire.
We just thought that it was just going to be just that, just like the mountains like on fire and stuff. We were just like, okay, let's go. So we just took the clothes on our back.
This is what his home looks like now. Some bricks and the rest rubble. Like many people, Severson, his wife, and 3 kids created a GoFundMe account, a popular crowdfunding platform that victims often turn to in disasters to raise money. But now questions sparking online. Does crowdfunding impact the amount of federal assistance you can receive? The answer is yes.
You lose everything and you have nothing, and just, you know, you're just like, what do we do?
Severson, like most, had no idea that FEMA even considered crowdfunding until we told him. His application for FEMA assistance is currently pending.
I've lost so much, and it's just, I feel like I need all the help I could get.
FEMA telling ABC10 if you receive money from a GoFundMe page for a specific disaster-related expense, such as home repairs, funeral expenses, or other emergency needs, you may not be able to receive FEMA aid for the same expenses. FEMA addressed this with a video on social media Tuesday.
The government regulations prevent FEMA from providing financial assistance to replace items that have already been paid for by another source. These sources can include insurance payouts, GoFundMe and other platforms, and money received from nonprofit organizations. We know this can be frustrating, especially when you're trying to manage so much all at once. That's why we encourage you to carefully consider how you describe your needs when creating a GoFundMe page.
FEMA recommends victims of any disaster start with their homeowner's insurance first. Then you can apply for FEMA assistance. Laura.
All right, Devin Truby, thank you.
As the fire emergency continues in Southern California, a special session at the state capitol has been postponed for now a second day in a row. Just yesterday, Governor Gavin Newsom announced that he is expanding the scope of the session to do more than, quote, Trump-proof the state. It will now include wildfire response and recovery. The governor is also asking lawmakers to shore more than $2 billion in funding for Los Angeles. Now, as firefighters fight these flames in LA, they are also fighting misinformation. Some claim that these fires could have been prevented through fuel management techniques like prescribed burns. I want to go ahead and bring in ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen. She's been asking fire officials and fire experts tonight if that's true.
Well, Alex, there's been a lot of finger pointing over the severity of these fires, and many claim the state is not doing enough prescribed burning. But after talking with fire officials at the federal and state level, there is a lot more decision making that goes into this kind of field management.
In fiscal year 23-24, we treated 106,000 acres.
In an effort to curb wildfires, California aims to treat 1 million acres of land in the state each year. CAL FIRE plays a major role in these field reduction projects along with other agencies.
500,000 acres from the forest, the federal areas, and then 500,000 between CAL FIRE and then all of our local response areas. And to divide it even further, CAL FIRE's goal is to treat 100,000 acres every year.
CAL FIRE, the state's fire agency, says it met its goal for the previous fiscal year. This comes after Republican lawmakers criticized the state on Monday, saying California is not meeting its field reduction goals as fires continue to burn in Southern California, claiming lives and property.
There was a commitment to doing 500,000 acres a year in treatment. There was a partnership actually between the state and the federal government that the governor was proud to announce when it came out. We have gotten nowhere near meeting those goals.
The U.S. Forest Service is part of the state's partnership, and right now, part of the Eaton fire is burning in their jurisdiction. As of October 2024, U.S. Forest says statewide it has done 3,500 acres of prescribed burns and more than 5,000 acres of mechanical treatments. The Forest Service says weather has played a big factor in trying to clear fuel in Southern California.
Southern California has not seen conditions appropriate for prescribed burning since last spring. So certainly we are not in any kind of condition in the southern half of the state to be looking at those prescribed fires now.
When asked if anything could have been done to prevent the destructive spread of the Southern California fires,
there's nothing. Let's just start with that. The conditions that we saw in Southern California last Tuesday were in above the 99.99th percentile of severity.
Environmental experts at Stanford University agree climate plays a major role in fire risks and management.
Even a large-scale fire break probably wouldn't have been effective in keeping the wildfire out of the communities. And once the communities are burning, the spread is from home to home, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the forest management.
While fires may be difficult to prevent, fire officials and scientists say homeowners can help minimize the spread by hardening their homes and property.
So far this fiscal year, CAL FIRE says they have treated just under 50,000 acres. They do have a public dashboard to keep track of their fuel reduction projects. If you want to check that out, we have posted a link on our website at abc10.com. Alex.
Jeannie, thank you so much. Earlier today, I sat down with Democratic Congressman Josh Harter from Stockton so we could discuss the aftermath of the fires in Los Angeles. He also touched on forest management and the insurance crisis. We have all heard the stories in LA. Many families are saying that they don't have fire insurance because their policies were canceled. Is the state doing enough to stabilize the insurance market here in California?
Well, the short answer is no. It's never felt so bad to be right. But the fact is, we're still seeing the repercussions from these fire insurance plans being canceled. And unfortunately, with the heartbreaking tragedy going on with the wildfires in Los Angeles, it's only going to compound this problem in the months and years ahead. The one point that I would make, though, is there is no path to affordable fire insurance in California if we have hundreds of billions of dollars of homes going up in smoke every single year. So the root cause of the issue isn't the insurance plans, it's not what the state is doing or not doing, it's the fires themselves. And that means that we need better fire management, more firefighters, better technology, less red tape right now to actually get to the heart of what's been going wrong across our state.
What can Congress do to help with this issue?
Congress can do a lot. 40% of the land in California is federally owned, and often that's the land that's the most poorly maintained. Where the firefighters are the fewest, where the technology is antiquated, and where there's a lot more red tape than there needs to be to actually do the preventative maintenance that needs to be done. On the insurance plans, California can also get a lot of help from the federal government. We can replicate that flood insurance program for fire insurance, but we can't do it when we're facing wildfires at the rate we're doing right now.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has made some remarks about California leaders and aid being sent for the recent fires in Southern California that I want to play for you right now.
Obviously, there's been water resource mismanagement, forest management mistakes, all sorts of problems. And it does come down to leadership, and it appears to us that state and local leaders were derelict in their duty in many respects. So that's something that has to be factored in. I think there should probably be conditions on that aid. That's my personal view. We'll see what the consensus is.
What is your response to Speaker Johnson's remarks, and do you agree with him?
I think it's really shameful if people are trying to play politics and move forward their own partisan agenda with these disasters as an excuse. Every single natural disaster, we make sure that we prioritize the victims first, and I think that needs to happen right now.
You have recently introduced the Modernizing Wildfire Safety and Prevention Act. This bill would combat the firefighter shortages, retain wildland firefighters by improving benefits and also updating fire technology. How could a bill like this help California with the fires that we're seeing right now?
We're really trying to fight 21st century wildfires with 19th century plans and technology. And clearly, that's not working. We've seen wildfires escalate over 800% across California just in the last 5 years. And so we have to get to the bottom of why that's happening. And the solution is better firefighters, more technology, and less red tape. That's exactly what this bipartisan bill does.
Now, you said less red tape. Can you dig into that a little bit about why that's important in your opinion?
Yeah, look, oftentimes if you have to get a permit from the air board or the water board, it could take months or even years before you're actually able to do that vegetation management to make an area less susceptible to wildfires. I don't think we can wait that long. We've seen that in San Joaquin County just over the last couple of years. I talked to one of our fire departments recently, and they told me that they were held up from actually doing vegetation management on one of our major rivers because there were some endangered species. They had to walk away from that project. The next wildfire season came in, the whole area went up in smoke. All the endangered species were devastated. And unfortunately, that happens time and time again in California.
Now, Josh Harter, Congressman Josh Harter, was one of 9 Congress members I recently spoke to on our half-hour special on California's insurance crisis. You can stream To the Point special investigation right now on our ABC10 Plus app. All you have to do is look for California's home insurance crisis on the home screen.
And now to an exclusive update to a story you saw first here on ABC 10. A veteran in Stockton turned to 10 on your side with concerns about wait times at the VA clinic. The local story has now led to a new bill being signed into law in Washington, D.C. that lawmakers insist will lead to improvements not just in Stockton, but across the nation. A doctor shortage left our nation's heroes waiting weeks, if not longer, just to make an appointment. Vietnam veteran Tino Adame told 10 on your side he was in the fight of his life with the Stockton VA clinic.
We have veterans that are dying in their cars, and we don't have the proper doctors there ready to take care of them.
The VA's own website showed the average wait time for a new patient to see a primary care physician at the Stockton VA clinic was 66 days back in September 2023. I called up Congressman Harter in D.C. at the time to ask what he was doing to tackle the problem. He addressed the crisis on the House floor and got an amendment passed directing the VA to create an emergency plan for addressing the doctor shortage.
The root cause here is that doctors can make a lot more money, sometimes 2 or 3 times as much money, working at a private hospital as they can working at the VA. And so I don't fault somebody who has a whole lot of student loans going and working somewhere where they can make a living for their family, but we need a level playing field.
Just last spring, a brand new larger VA clinic opened in French Camp, and now in 2025, lawmakers have passed new legislation to tackle the issue.
This was written as the VA Competes Act, and it passed as part of a bill called the Elizabeth Dole 21st Century Veterans Healthcare Improvement Act. And I think it's a really exciting piece of legislation that veterans in Stockton are going to be seeing improvements from.
The bill aims to increase VA healthcare providers' salaries, requires annual performance evaluations and pay adjustments, and gives the VA secretary the power to waive pay caps when necessary.
And it's not just going to lower wait times for the VA in Stockton and across the country. It's going to also make sure that the best physicians want to work at the VA.
The VA sent this statement to 10 on your side, saying in part, we appreciate the ongoing partnership we have with Congress and our local elected officials. VA Northern California healthcare system has consistently and diligently worked to recruit, hire, and retain talented and dedicated providers to serve veterans in the Stockton area. These efforts have resulted in the hiring of new providers in 2024, which has significantly reduced wait times for new patients. And now, in addition to a new facility, Harter says this new law will bring positive changes to Stockton and beyond. The law also requires annual reports to Congress detailing which clinics made pay changes, how many employees were impacted, and what adjustments were made. And don't forget, ABC 10 is here to help. Do you have a problem and don't know where else to turn? Email me at onyourside@abc10.com. Let's take a live look tonight at Golden One Center. You know why. The Sacramento Kings are playing the Bucks in Milwaukee tonight, and we are hoping to light that beam, make it 8 wins in a row. We will be following that very closely for you tonight. So let's bring in Monica to talk about how that beam forecast is looking.
Fingers crossed, toes crossed, and bringing a beanie or a jacket?
Right. It was so cold this morning as we headed outside. It definitely reminded us it is winter despite the sunny skies. Light the beam forecast 46 degrees. No cloud cover. That sunset was at 5:09. It's going to be a very crisp night for us. And that's how we started off today as well. With the clear skies, light winds, we started off in the upper 20s to right around 30 throughout much of the valley, near 40 for the foothills and teens up top for the Sierra. But now those afternoon highs, they warm nicely. Plenty of sunny skies out there. Temperatures upper 50s to right around 60 in the valley, 62 for San Francisco, 50s in the foothills, and then right around 50 for the Tahoe Basin. We're into that big ridge of high pressure that keeps us high and dry, but unfortunately also critical fire weather continues for Southern California with our red flag warning in effect. That is the situation we will continue to follow tonight and tomorrow when we actually see the peak of that wind event for Southern California. And we continue to follow our statewide precipitation as these numbers start to dwindle in terms of the gains that we made early in the season are now quickly starting to be erased. We're down for precipitation in Sacramento, Stockton, and Modesto for where we should be this time of year. And really, there's no rain in sight. We've only had 0.3 of an inch for the entire month of January. We should have almost 4 inches by the end of the month. Right now, it's dry outside in the Big Mountain backyard. We have clear skies, temperatures in the 50s. Tahoe right now at 33 degrees. As we look at our burn status for tomorrow, this is something I mentioned last night. I suspected we'd start to see some restrictions, and that's indeed what's happening for Sacramento County and Stanislaus County. No burning unless registered. As far as tomorrow, we start the day off in the 30s. We'll warm to highs in the 50s and lower 60s, with much of our day spent in the 50s and 60s for our midweek outlook. But again, that future moisture, there's just nothing to be found straight through the weekend outlook. For tomorrow, highs in the 40s for the Sierra, 50s and lower 60s as we head throughout the foothills along the coast. Highs are in the 60s after morning lows starting off once again in the 30s. It's going to be a cold start to the day, but sunny skies and light winds will help warm us back into the 60s tomorrow. 5-day regional forecast and pretty much status quo right through the weekend outlook. We're continuing to see those highs in the 40s for the mountains, 50s and 60s for the foothills, and 50s and 60s for the coast. We continue to see the cold morning lows, afternoon highs, generally in the 50s and 60s straight through this 10-day forecast with no rain in the foreseeable future.
It is time now for our Teacher of the Month.
And we are so excited. So to start off 2025, we are highlighting Elk Grove's Leslie Washington. And ABC10's Marcus Allen has been out in Elk Grove, chilly this morning, with more all morning long. So Mark, what can you tell us about Leslie?
Well, I can tell you a lot about Leslie. I can also tell you, yes, it is chilly in Elk Grove. If I blow just right, I can cover nothing but fog between me and the camera, but I shan't. I'll hold my breath while we do a Teacher of the Month. Right now, if you know a great teacher that deserves $1,000, we can make it happen. It's a little something that we call Teacher of the Month, and it looks like this.
Catherine L. Albiani Middle School, you're in luck. Time for a new Teacher of the Month, the first of the new year. Leslie Washington, you're it.
How excited are you?
I'm super excited, overjoyed, and quite honestly, a little surprised.
You've been doing this for a minute, helping these kids succeed. Why do you do it? What gives you joy day after day?
Absolutely, it's what the kids bring every day, and I'm lucky to be in a great community where the parents are very supportive, the families are supportive, and the staff is amazing.
And having done it a minute, you've seen these kids grow up and succeed in the world. Any success stories, or just how does it make you feel when they come back to you and go, thank you?
I love it when the kids, I run into the community, whether it's in the grocery store or the gym, I've run into them everywhere. The greatest is when a kid comes back and says, thank you.
I bet that happens a lot.
Yeah, it does.
That's why we're here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime you walk into Miss Washington's class, students are engaged, they're loving it, they're raising their hand, they're volunteering. They love Miss Washington. Great teacher is one that gets to know their students and then pushes their students to achieve more than the student thought they could.
What's the best thing about her?
She's just kind. She lets us get away with a lot of things.
And?
She teaches really well.
What else?
She's really forgiving.
What else?
She lets every student live with here.
Yeah, and you?
When we first met her, she said she was going to be a little bit like our mom, so she's really always there for us.
All right, so should we make her Teacher of the Month?
Yes. Yes.
Should we go give her some money?
Yes.
Let's go do that, come on.
Congratulations on behalf of Schools First Federal Credit Union. I'm going to give you this really awesome plaque and a check for $1,000.
Wow, that is awesome. $1,000, certainly you're watching that and you're thinking, I know a great teacher, or my kid has a great teacher. Hook them up. Go to ABC10.com/Teacher of the Month and we will make them the Teacher of the Month. I'll repeat that because I'm a little cold and the jaw's not working right. It's ABC10.com/Teacher of the Month to hook up the next Teacher of the Month. Can't wait for the February month of love, giving a teacher some love. In the meantime, back to you.
Love it. Kay and Gil Albiani have done so much for the city of Elk Grove, and their 5 kids went to local schools there. Mark, if we were able to transport to Texas this morning to talk to some of your elementary school teachers, what would be the consensus about you as a student?
I didn't get to know my teachers that well. I always knew the principals more so because I was in their office. I will tell you the teacher that made the biggest difference in my life was Mrs. Barlow, because she encouraged me to bring my Star Wars collection and my robot to class one time when I was in middle school. I got beat up after school and teased from it, but I appreciate what she was going for.
Okay, so you were really good at show and tell, which has served you well in your roles today for us here at ABC 10. So you're all about the show and tell.
Thanks so much for watching ABC 10 Plus tonight. Remember, we are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus app. You can get your news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Trust isn't given, but earned. It's built every day by doing the hard work, putting in the hours, doing the research, holding the powerful accountable, and being there when you need us most. Working hard to earn your trust every day, every newscast, every story. Watch weeknights at 6 or stream live on ABC 10 Plus.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast, whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look, it's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.